Good afternoon and welcome to the 2021 Greater Cleveland Bench Bar Memorial Program. It is my privilege to introduce the Honorable Patricia A. Gaughan, Chief Judge of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Ohio, who will preside over today's ceremony.
Thank you, Sandy, and good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to preside over this annual Cleveland Bench Bar Memorial Program. I welcome you here today, not only on behalf of my colleagues with the United States District Court for the Northern District of Ohio, but on behalf of all of the participating courts throughout Cuyahoga County and the leadership of our bar associations. Last year, given the timing of this pandemic, the bench bar was forced to cancel this event. And although we can only appear remotely this year, this event is simply too important to cancel again. We are here today to celebrate the lives of our deceased brethren, our friends and colleagues from all aspects of the law. And specifically, I would like to welcome all of those family members in attendance, mothers, fathers, spouses, brothers, sisters, children. And to each of you, I extend truly heartfelt condolences. You know, this event is always so bittersweet. We can't help but feel grief and pain and the very quick passage of time. My heart is heavy as I think about our deceased brethren and remember so many stories, smiles, laughter, and yes, greatness. But it is also a time of joy and pride as we reflect on the tremendous accomplishments, achievements, and dedication of those we remember today, those who contributed to making this profession a noble calling. We celebrate those who made a difference, and every single one of our deceased brethren did make a difference. My hope is that today's celebration offers some comfort and helps ease the pain of a loss suffered by not only those here today, but also by each and every member of our legal community. It is now my pleasure to introduce the president of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, Mr. Joseph Gross.
Members of the judiciary, fellow members of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, honored guests. Today, as we do most years, we gather to remember our friends, family, and colleagues who recently left us. However, since we were unable to do this program last year, we today honor those who passed since the beginning of 2019. We have well more than 100 honorees this year. As I reviewed the names on the list of honorees this year, I realized we are a small community where, like it or not, we're all neighbors in a sense. Our honorees this year include former bar presidents and other bar leaders, several of whom helped me become the president of this bar association. 9 judges, several of whom I was before, and some friends, some colleagues, some adversaries, and some to whom I've referred cases. Some of the true experts in their fields of specialization, and some real trailblazers. They worked in all sorts of ways: public service, big firm, little firm, and just about everything in between. They helped their clients achieve justice, or in a few cases, help determine what justice is. And of course, they touched so many of us in a personal and not necessarily professional way. They were husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, friends and partners. They loved and were loved, and that's how they stay with us. They touched us in ways that altered our souls and our beings, and we're way better off because of them. It's not for me to suggest that any of our honorees were taken from us too soon, but I feel that many were. Some of them got to enjoy, or at least get to retirement. Others did not. And others just could not give their practices up. Although I knew more than a few of the honorees and could talk at length about them, I want to tell you about how 3 of them personally affected me, my practice, and my outlook on justice. First, Judge Diane Karpinski. She was just an amazing person and personality. Vibrant. I got to know her as a member of the bar's ethics committee, where we worked together on several matters, and once debating a point of grammar like it was an armistice. She taught me that words matter, justice matters, and the relationships with our colleagues matter. Both my wife Barb and I so look forward to sitting down with her at our Rock the Foundation events. My relationship with Judge Karpinski is a huge reason why this bar association is so important to our legal community. We can do so many things on Zoom, but Zoom will never capture the deep feelings and sense of community that we can develop by being together. Rick Steggy and I had a similar relationship. I met him many years ago in the Cleveland Bar Association's Ethics Committee. He wrote an article about how lawyers can stay out of trouble, which really made the law of professional responsibility personal and an important interest of mine. I was his vice chair when he became chair, and he took me under his wings. We had very different practices and views on life and on justice, really, but we had such a good connection. I miss him. Ben Gray was a management-side employment lawyer who became an employee-side employment lawyer. I believe I met him many years ago in our labor and employment section, and we were also members of the ethics committee. And we worked for many years on this bar association's certified grievance committee. I had several employment law cases against Ben, and he was quite the adversary. But he was a true professional. He taught me, like I hope I taught him, by example on how to be a professional, and that fighting hard and at that time zealously for your client and your way of looking at a matter does not mean you don't see most matters, those most important matters, the same way. Because of that, I referred several employee-side cases to Ben, knowing that he would do justice for those individuals. I could go on, but let me conclude by thanking all of you for joining us today to celebrate the lives of those we lost. This is a great way to give tribute and have us think about what is truly important. I also want to thank Judge Gaughan for officiating this event today and over the many years. I also want to thank Chief Justice O'Connor and all the other presenters today for taking a bit of their time to help us reflect on our honorees, our profession, and our community. I also want to thank our CEO, Becky Rupert McMahon, and all of the CMBA leadership and staff who worked so hard to make this virtual program and literally hundreds of other programs a success in our now mostly virtual environment.
David F. Eggers, Thomas E. Allen, F. Michael Apicella, William Edward Armstrong, Elliot Stephen Azoff, Thomas Joseph Bader, Bruce A. Baylor, Kenneth A. Byrne, Stephen L. Busher, Stephen Joseph Burns, the Honorable James P. Celebrezzi, Ernest Chenta, Gerald Bruce Chapman, Leo Leonard Cifelli, Avery Samuel Cohen,
Nicholas A. Colabianchi, Roy T. Company, Ames C. Coney Jr., Susan Craze, Craig Edward Cullen Terzano, the Honorable Thomas Patrick Curran, Richard J. Cusick Jr., Brian J. Darling, David G. Davies, Leonard Davis, Anthony D. DeCello, Ernie K. DeManellis, Blair Dickey White, John E. Duda,
The Honorable Mary Louise Dunning, Richard J. Egan, Robert J. Fetterman, Santiago Feliciano Jr., Alan Robert Feltz, Ranelle Elise Gamble, Michael Thomas Gavin, Anthony A. Gados, Peter Milton Gerhart, John J. Gill, Alvin I. Gilmore, Richard John Getch, Terrence P. Gravens, Elvin L. Gray, R. Benton Gray,
William M. Green, Raymond E. Griffiths, J. Ross Haffey Jr., James Michael Hazelwood, John Martin Heffernan, Robert Jack Hornor, Calvin F. Hurd Jr., William Walter Jacobs, Garlandine Jones Grant, the Honorable Diane Joan Karpinski, Lawrence Kelly Sr., the Honorable Thomas M. Kennedy Jr., Charles William Kitchen, Stephen M. Klonowski,
the Honorable Judith Kilbane Koch, the Honorable Thomas Lambros, Donald Eli Lampert, Bernadette Therese Larson, William Albert Lawco, Frank Leonetti Jr., Herbert Levine, Robin J. Levine, John Francis Lewis, Michael D. Lynn. The Honorable Lawrence Robert Loeb. David Earl Lowe. Karen M. Lutz. David E. Mack.
The Honorable Ralph Anthony McAllister. Owen James McCafferty. Patrick Francis McCartan Jr. Donald G. McCarthy. George L. McGackey. Claire Ignatia McGinnis. Jean McKinney. Brian H. Meister. Charles Merchant. Bruce L. Musielner. Donald John Morash. George J. Mascarino. Joseph J. Nagley. Forrest Alonzo Norman.
John George Papandreas. Melvin Perlman. Jeffrey Perlmuter. Stephen E. Pidgett. Jeffrey J. Porter. David R. Postoraro. Joe Allen Powell. Sandra Ann Preble. Marianne Rabin. Philip Allen Ranney. John Renner. Neil Edward Roberts. John Bernard Robertson. Benjamin H. Rosker.
Harold A. Ross. Susan Grody Rubin. Rodion J. Russin. Alan Ross Settery. Glenn J. Seeley. Thomas F. Sheehan. Benjamin Shearer. Emery W. Smith. Shale S. Sonkin. Jean M. Splain. Edward Richard Steege. Arthur Steinmetz. Craig Anders Tame. Hillary S. Taylor.
Nick Tamino. Anthony R. Troya. Brano Urbanchik. Anthony J. Viola. Philip James Wall. Edmund Weisler. William Henry West. James Jean White. Aaron Daniel Whittington. Thomas R. Wolfe. William Taylor Wooliger. Paul William Yates. Thomas E. Young.
William T. Zafiro, Sr.
Hi, my name is Father Ryan Mann. I'm a priest in the Diocese of Cleveland, and I'm the administrator at St. Basil the Great Parish here in Brecksville, Ohio. And it is a real honor to be with all of you at this memorial program, even if it is digital or virtual. And I want to thank all those who invited me to be a part of this program. I know that in a unique way, we are honoring all the men and women, both attorneys and judges, who have served so faithfully Cuyahoga County, pursuing justice, pursuing the legal system as fair as we can. And it's a real blessing to me as a priest of the Catholic Church to be able to take a few moments and share some reflections. And I guess what I just want to share for all of you is an odd part of our human existence are desires. You and I seem to have desires that would appear at first glance irrational or odd. For example, I don't ever want to be lied to. I don't want the poor to be taken advantage of. I want life to be honored. I want friendships that never fade and never move away. And I want loved ones who never die. I never want love to be withered or to fade or to die. The reason these desires can seem so insane at first is simply because our daily experience is quite the contrary. People are lied to, the poor are taken advantage of, friends move away, and especially people die. So either our hearts are odd with these desires, or as the French philosopher Blaise Pascal said, heart has reasons, the reason knows not. So there's something deep within us calling. And at this time, to look into the book of Ecclesiastes, we find this simple little phrase. It's after the part that most of us know. There's a time to love and a time to be born. That song back and forth, or that hymn that the Beatles turned into a song. But as you go further on, the next paragraph says, God has put eternity into our hearts without us ever discovering it there. What that means is these desires, these longings that awaken in us, is God's plan for us to seek him, to call out to him. We're looking for a certain kind of life, a mystery that would be stronger than death, a mystery that would be complete justice, a mystery that would be full of goodness and generosity to those in need, a kind of life that corresponds to the deepest echoes and longings within. And according to the author of the book of Ecclesiastes, God has put this in our hearts. For what reason? For the reason that we would seek him, call out to him. We would pray. We would seek to follow the path that leads to the fulfillment of these desires. Now, my dad's side of the family is all Jewish, and I've had friends who are atheists, and I know some of you may be Hindu or Muslim or Buddhist or Christian or agnostic. Obviously, I'm a Roman Catholic priest, and so I see in this echo of our hearts, in this Ecclesiastes passage, all pointing to the gift of Jesus, where we see Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. That in him rising from the dead, we understand that these desires are not naive or irrational, but rather are meant to find their fulfillment, the object of them, in God enfleshed in Jesus. And so no matter where you are in your faith tradition, all of us have to deal with the loss of loved ones, the pain of saying goodbye, and deep within us is this longing for a hello, that we could see them again. And so it's important that we do pray for those who are mourning and grieving, that we do offer kindness, and that we do reflect upon the mystery of human death, what it means, what do different faith traditions say, and ultimately which one corresponds to the deepest places of our masculinity and femininity. I want to thank you once again for the opportunity to address you, and I pray and hope that this memorial program and the upcoming months of spring and summer would bring with you a springtime of faith, hope, and love in your own hearts. May God bless you all. Thank you.
In closing, I would like to thank all of those in attendance today. This past year has been especially difficult for those who have lost loved ones. Some of you may have lost a loved one to COVID, and I know that COVID deeply impacted the ability of all of you to grieve. It is my hope that this recognition ceremony helped in some small way to ease that grief. I would like to extend a special thank you to all of our presenters, and especially Father Ryan Mann, for such heartfelt and comforting remarks. We are all humbled by the truly remarkable accomplishments of those we are honoring today. As Thomas Campbell once wrote, "To live in hearts we leave behind is not to die." All of us here are a testament to the very truth of that statement. And as we look to the future, we are very proud to continue in the legacy undertaken by our colleagues, friends, and family members. Before I conclude the ceremony, I would like to thank all of those who made today possible. It has truly been an honor and a privilege to be here today, even if only remotely. And with that, the ceremony is officially concluded. I thank you.